It's kinda weird apologizing for the late upload because I'm kinda sorry, but not really. I mean, I wanted to get this review out when the show was still fresh and new, when it was still relevant, but that's just not how things worked out. Besides, forcing myself to rush through the series as opposed to watching it when I wanted to would have made the process much more laborious and less fun. Regardless, here's my review of Marvel's Luke Cage. P.S. This is a spoiler review, so yeah, watch out for that. So Luke Cage is a story about a superpowered man with virtually indestructible skin who, after being framed for a heinous act, struggles to rebuild himself in the modern world. The actor who portrays Luke Cage, Mike Colter, nailed it again as the man with unbreakable skin. He did great in Jessica Jones and was even better here. His tall, muscular appearance definitely adds that invulnerable-like nature to the character, but it's his charisma that really makes his character unique. You see, he basically took one of the most invincible characters of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and made him vulnerable. You could feel the weight of the emotions coming from him. You could see the sorrow and regret in his eyes, and you ultimately feel like you could relate to him. And that's crazy. Someone who's meant to be this Superman-like being, someone who's practically untouchable, someone that can't die, is relatable to your average Joe. Not to take credit away from the writers and director either, it was beautiful writing and Colter simply added that finesse that made the show all the more better. The supporting character of Misty Knight also did a great job. There were times where she was that damsel in distress, but the times where she was independent made it evident that she could be strong on her own. She also shares this moment of rivalry with Claire Temple, who was previously seen on the other two Netflix Defender shows. I kind of half expected there to be some sort of beef with Claire snatching Luke from Misty like that, but I guess it was just a one night then get out skin on skin type of relationship. It's cool to see Claire pop in and out of shows to get that universe connection. Speaking of connections, the casting from Mariah Dillard bummed me out a bit about the whole MCU tie-ins. The actress Alfre Woodard was apparently the same person who portrayed an entirely different character in Civil War. She was that triggered mother that pushed Tony over the edge into enforcing the Sokovia Accords. That's not to say that I didn't like her character in the show, I loved her in the series. It's just the discontinuity that bothered me. Her symbolism of that corrupt idol gives off a very strong message that I think makes this fictional world relate to ours in a very sinister yet truthful way. Yes, there are role models out there like Captain America and Iron Man who make this world seem like a hopeful and brighter planet, but there are also the false figures like Mariah Dillard who do the nastiest sins in the Bible just to appear as pretty as possible. Her character is so inherently evil that it's entertaining to watch. One of the henchmen, Shades, probably has all of the traits of your stereotypical one-dimensional cliché villain. But it works here. He's dutiful and gets the job done, but he thinks for himself and doesn't follow certain orders that don't resonate with him. He always talks real smooth and slow at a low voice level and takes off his glasses whenever he's about to say something dramatic. I guess you could say he always takes off his... shades. In other shows, this probably would have felt weird, but for some reason it works here. I'm not really sure why, but I liked it in this show. And finally, Cottonmouth, the essential opposite to Luke Cage. Cottonmouth didn't have the superpowers or the incredible physical strength. What he had was the material wealth, the will to kill, the sick interpretation of right from wrong. He also had a really cool laugh, so props to you, Mr. Ali. What I like most about him though was the amount of layers he had to him. He wasn't exactly a maniacal, mindless killer. He had a set of principles to abide by that made his killings seem rational to him. You could see the monster inside him when he kills his own henchmen, but you also see the humanity to him through his frustration and guilt over Pop's death. Overall, Cottonmouth was a very well-rounded character, something that the actual MCU films have been lacking for quite a while. The action pieces were unique. Some were obviously choreographed much better than others, but you gotta give the filmmakers credit for using a lot of practical effects. There's this one scene where Mike Colter is just walking down the hall with supposed bullets tearing holes into his jacket. Kudos to Colter for taking those tiny explosions without blinking like a man. Oh yeah, and Method Man's cameo was cool too. But now for the cons, starting with my biggest gripe, Diamondback. Listen, I'm sure his backstory was amazing and all his relations to Luke added that special twist, but the rush to the build-up really turned that second part of the season from sweet to sour. Seriously, when he revealed that he was Luke's brother, I literally said, "Okay, cool. Who are you again?" I mean, we literally just met the guy and the show expected us to feel connected to that reveal. And my second problem with the show is actually the effect the first problem caused, and that's the loss of focus. As opposed to Daredevil and Jessica Jones' season 1, Luke Cage has two main bad guys, Cottonmouth and Diamondback. Dillard was more a villain in the background to me, but I loved the first half of the show because it was the mental scars, not the physical pain, that kept knocking him down. The traumatizing events he witnessed were things that he would remember for as long as he lives. And today we forget the strength of memories because memories are powerful things. They can be a vibrant, beautiful recollection of the past that gives us meaning to our lives, but they can also be that dark and discouraging image that instills doubt and fear in ourselves. So when they introduced the Judas Bullet and Diamondback as the story progressed, the complexity of the show took 2 steps back. Because for me, Luke Cage isn't supposed to be physically threatened. The show already introduced his kryptonite, which was his psyche and his love for others, so introducing those 2 other elements took away from what was already there. I mean, you could have the Judas Bullet for an episode or 2 for that tension builder, but not have it keep reoccurring. Seriously, I cried when they replaced Cottonmouth with a less interesting character. I guess you could say that removing him from the show was... shady. Oh yeah, and that costume was kinda cringy too. So all in all, Luke Cage is a really good addition to the Defenders series. It's filled with drama and suspense, so much so that you forget that you're watching a superhero show. But that isn't necessarily a bad thing. Despite the inconsistencies and lack of focus of the second half of the season, the other fleshed out characters, suspenseful drama, and underlying themes in the show truly make this series not one to miss out on. The actors were great, the writing was pretty good for the most part, and the jazz hip-hop music really complemented the setting of the story. I'm gonna give Luke Cage a 90%. What do you all think? Do you agree with my review? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Anyways, thank you everyone for watching my review. If you sincerely like this video, then please show your support by hitting that like and subscribe button. Also, consider following me on my Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter account. And for more of my videos, just click right here.